Welcome back to Copper Star Precision. We're back on the range discussing the September course of fire for the NRL22 matches. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. I hope these videos are informative. We do them every month. And now that I have the trigger cam, I'm going to be taking you along to matches. I already posted the video from August's match that you can go check out, and I'll bring you along this weekend for the September match, as well as one at the end of the month. I usually do 2 matches a month. So, that being said, this is the 5th stage in the booklet. It's called 911, pretty interesting stage. I'll put the stage description up here. It is the bonus stage. Not that that matters. Worry about getting your hits. Although, talked to the top 2 shooters at my club last weekend where they were separated by 1/10 of a point or 1 second on the tiebreaker stage. So to them it matters. To me, I'm just here to get more points, as I usually say at the end of my videos. Anyway, here's the course description. On the start signal, take a supported prone position and engage the small target with 1 round alternating left, then right until 9 rounds have been fired. Then the shooter will take an unsupported seated position and engage the large target with 1 shot. Perform a mandatory reload and re-engage the large target with 1 shot from the unsupported seated position again. Now, usually I don't cover prone stages in my courses, and the reason why is I think everyone's pretty comfortable shooting prone, but this is an interesting stage because if you look at the diagram, the targets are 10 yards apart. So there's going to be a little bit of movement left to right. And I want you to think about being economical with your movement so that you have less time moving between targets, more time focusing on breaking a clean, good shot. If you have to make a wind hold, take your time. Spend less time moving, more time practicing the fundamentals, breathing, waiting for the respiratory pause, good trigger pull, good follow through. That's more important than, hunting for a target. Obviously you have to find the target to shoot it, but what I mean is you don't want to spend all that time wasting looking for targets. So I'm going to give you a tip and trick for this stage, which I think might help people. Let me know if it does in the comments. The targets are 10 yards apart, but they're 85 yards downrange. So if you use trigonometry, and I know people shy away when I talk about math in this channel, but all you need to know is that 10 yards apart, 85 yards away, those 2 targets are 7 degrees apart, roughly. It's like 6 point something, but it's 7 degrees apart. So if this is 90, half that is 45. I mean, it's minuscule. You're not moving that much between targets. So there's no reason to be sitting there and like readjusting your entire body. So I'm gonna give you a tip that I'm gonna use if you're a right-handed shooter, and I'll demonstrate the same thing for a left-handed shooter. So if you're a right-handed shooter, when the stage starts, all I'm gonna use for the stage is a bipod and rear bag. For the seated part, you could use a sling. I have a whole video of slings I can link up here and how to use a sling. I don't think it's gonna be necessary. But if it makes you feel more comfortable, by all means, go ahead. So bipod and rear bag. So let's say the stage starts, beep, I come down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the rifle and I'm gonna point the rifle towards the right target. If I'm a right-handed shooter, okay? If I'm a right-handed shooter, I point my rifle at the right target. I'm actually gonna come into the gun like this, looking at the right target. I know I have to engage the left target first. I'm gonna come into the gun, make sure I'm on the right target. I'm gonna spend a couple seconds doing that, right? And then from this position, because when you wanna shoot accurately, the general rule of thumb is you wanna be straight in line with the rifle. You don't wanna be angled to the side. But here we can actually do that because we're engaging multiple targets. So imagine this is my perfect shooting position for the right target. I'm in line perfectly with the right target. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm simply gonna push with my shoulder. I'm gonna push the gun 7 degrees to the left. Now, if you look at a bird's eye view of what I'm doing now, people will call this improper technique, right? Because I'm not in line, my body is not in line with the rifle. But by doing so, it sets me up perfectly for the right shot. And I'm a little bit compromised, but this prevents me from trying to get perfectly set up here and then shifting my entire body over here 7 degrees, lining up with this shot, and then squirming around and coming back to this shot. So let's look at what that would look like kind of in real time. I'm going to pretend I'm standing. Match buzzer goes beep. I'm lining this up, sight, barrel, turrets, eyepiece. I don't have to be dead on the right target as long as it's on the glass. And from here, I'm looking at the next target, the left target, and I'm just gonna push over 7 degrees. Here, I'm gonna engage. And instead of moving my whole body, I can literally take my left hand, which is holding my rear bag for elevation control. I can go from here, I can literally take my left hand, and just move myself right back to the right target. And I'm there. My body's already in the right position for one of the targets. It's just I'm pushing towards the left target. So I'm here, I engage, push, engage. Notice how little the back half of my body is not moving. I'm just engaging here. And this is a great conservation of movement. Between here and here, I'm not spending all this time picking up the gun, filling with the rifle, you know. All I'm doing, because they're only 7 degrees apart, I'm lined up perfectly for the right target, push to the left target, and I come right back, use that muscle memory, just revert back to that perfect hold, and I'm gonna get through that stage quickly. Now, if you're a top shooter, you might wanna utilize this because it is a time stage and a bonus stage. That's gonna help you get off shots quickly. Then, of course, you're gonna have to transition to a seated position, 2 shots, mandatory mag change in between each shot. If you're a left-handed shooter, it's gonna be exactly the opposite. You're gonna start lined up with the left target, like you would. And it's kind of good because the first target is left. So I'm not a left-handed shooter, so excuse my awkwardness. But essentially, if you're a left-handed shooter, I'm lined up at the left target, and I'm shifting basically my torso, top half of my body. Right target, now I'm back in line. I'm just picking up the gun with the rear bag, moving at 7 degrees to hit the next target. And then once you engage 9 shots, come up here, seated position. I usually like to do ankles crossed. This is pretty stable, and it's a very generous target. It's 5 inches, 85 yards. It's pretty big. So as long as you got your wobble under control, deep breath, respiratory pause, engage, mag change, do it again, you should be fine. So I hope this tip helps you in the match. If it does, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until I see you in the next one, score more points. Quincy, do you want to be on the blooper reel? Do you want to be on the blooper reel? Hello, hello.